I've lived here since 1965. It was my first teaching job as an elementary art teacher after graduating from Upper Iowa University. I was an art and physical education major. I like art a lot better than phys ed, although I have taught it and I've enjoyed it. After teaching 1 year in Independence, I was married and we had our first child. And then I started teaching in Jessup, and I had kindergarten through 12th grade. And that was a lot of fun. I was there a couple of years. The second year I was pregnant with our second child, and then I substituted like a crazy lady. I won't do that again, but then we had our third child the next summer, so I kind of laid back from the subbing for a while. I did go to Jessup to sub, and I subbed in Independence. I had a really good daycare provider, took the kids to her house. And then I applied for several jobs. It didn't get the jobs, but I ended up in Winthrop in 1984, and I was the secondary art teacher there for 20 years. And I went back there and substituted a little bit after I retired in 2004. And then I started subbing in Independence, and I just retired from that March 30th of 2021. I decided, I missed the kids and I liked it, but time marches on and I just wanted to focus more on my artwork and my house and my garden and being a grandparent and just traveling and, slowing down a little bit. So that was kind of bittersweet, but I've enjoyed it, and I have enjoyed seeing the kids since I taught them as professional people and teachers, and that's been fun to reminisce. I love teaching drawing because most people think they can't draw, but they certainly can, and I will gladly take that challenge. Actually, the studio we're in right now is where I have taught drawing, watercolor. I've taught children, I've taught teens. I do a little bit of some what you might call art therapy, but I don't call it that. It's called touch drawing, and it's really a week-long course, but I've condensed it down into a weekend. And there's journal writing. They come here and there's no plan in mind. It all just comes naturally and spontaneously. And the students end up writing in a journal, taking some time outside, walking, bring a sack lunch, and then we dialogue a little bit. But that's been fun. I've done quite a few of those, not recently, of course, due to the virus. And I guess having taught everything, I like everything. So sitting here, you can see there's little areas of drawing and painting and pastel work and crafts, and I don't get bored. It's just find enough time to live out here. Well, I bought a box of 24 chalks a long time ago. That's kind of been my go-to medium, is pastel chalk. And I studied with a professional artist who was a professor of art at Grinnell University, or Grinnell College in Grinnell, Iowa. He came and taught for a week, and I just really liked it. And so the first big drawing I did on my own was sitting behind what used to be First Street decorating in the Chung Garden right off the 2nd Street Bridge. I did the old mill, and I still have that original piece. And after that, then, I don't know, I started doing them for fun, and I have sold quite a few actually. Mainly the Amish area, that's kind of my subject matter, because I like their rural lifestyle and their sustainability of the way they live. I have also taken another class in chalk from a professional portrait artist, Mary Mueller, who has lived in Des Moines, and I studied with her for a week. But there's other artists too. There was fabric dyeing and silkscreen printing and watercolor, clay. Those classes I took not only benefited me, but I could take them back to the classroom. And we did willow, where you go out and cut willow down, and then we made sculpture out of the willow. That was a lot of fun. I don't know. I just went with the flow. I researched it myself and I experimented before I taught the kids, plus just going to those classes. So I would say I was a very versatile, thorough art teacher. I didn't focus on just clay or just drawing and painting. I wanted them to have all kinds of experiences. We studied other countries and their cultural artwork and how it connected to their foods and their life. We studied design, color when it comes to sales and interior decorating, cars, clothing, all that stuff. We did tie-dyeing, we did clay, and experimented doing it the way early cultures did, in a pit or smoke firing, they call it. So yeah, I kind of missed that too, but you know, like I said, you got to move on. Not, well, when I was little, I used to like frosting cakes and cookies and changing the furniture around in my bedroom and doing things outside. Like when I was a kid, we used to take the dried corn stalks from the garden and make them into little huts and play out there. But I had an art class as a senior in high school. That was the first time it was ever offered. And that was back in the 60s, no, late 50s, 60s. And so, I don't know, when I went to Upper Iowa, I just decided that could be my minor. I was really going to be a physical education teacher. And then, I don't know, I just decided I just liked art better. Although I did do some student teaching in both subjects, and I have taught as a sub physical education. I've gone to art shows. College Hill with my furniture, and that was one time. And then I've been at the Holiday for the Art Show at the Waterloo Art Museum a couple of times. I've been in Jefferson, Iowa to house shows where people host a show in their home. And that was shared with some other entrepreneurs in the food industry and cosmetic industry. And that was fun. I've been to Dubuque several times for their shows. I've gone to Decorah a couple of times. Ames, the the Octagon had a show, and that was outside, and I did that a couple times. Bad weather and wind and all that. And I've done it here in Independence, Art on Main, Art Under the Oaks, and then I think by word of mouth. I do a lot of consignment in the children's furniture business. I've gone to Waverly quite a few times, Rhinebeck shows. So I would say Upper Iowa had an alumni show that I participated in many years, and that's been my paintings and drawings. So yeah, it's been fun going around, and I like the contact with the customers and just other artists. We can always learn something from each other. Oh yeah, both categories, the furniture and the paintings. Some aren't for sale as far as the pastels are concerned. Some of them have been published on the front of conservation magazines. That was a nice honor. And also I've won some awards at area art shows with some of those pieces, and those two are pastels, and they're in my home.